Hello and welcome to an update of the mating game. We'll start our update off with our European Nightcrawler bin and see how these guys are getting along. So I can see already off the bat the worms are active, and we have babies. So they keep producing. I guess the size does not deter them. And there's one of the mature with his clitellum. The bedding feels good. And these guys definitely picked up the pace for sure. Maybe they were just a little slow getting started, right? Because there are quite a few large worms here now. I'm actually even surprised. I didn't think that they would get to be any substantial size at all, given that this bin is only 3 gallons. They're still working on the watermelon. And I guess that's normal. But we'll give them a nice feeding anyway, since I'm only giving them like ounces, 3 ounces, 4 ounces. The material feels good, and the worms have definitely started to reproduce. I can see that now. So we'll give them a feeding. This one, they'll probably get through in no time at all because I blended it. And I already put in the buffer, which is some eggshell. So I'm not going to be adding anything else in here. This is about 4 ounces. And there's also some coffee grounds in there. So this should be gone in no time at all, probably even before the watermelon. These guys are looking good. Let's go over to our next bin. Here is our next bin. This is the red wiggler bin. Always a pleasure to look into this one. Lots of castings. And these guys look lively as well. And of course, they would be by the food. Yeah, they have been reproducing beautifully. You can see them throughout. So these guys, because they're a smaller worm, I am not surprised that they're reproducing. This bin is certainly good enough for them, unlike some of the bigger worms. And since I don't use these kinds of small bins, this is new for me as well. Now here they are, where the food is, of course. All different stages of growth. And of course, lots and lots of babies. Okay, so flopped up the bedding and we can feed them. We'll make a pocket here, just like we did in the other bin. Check my gloves because I just know that there's going to be a baby there. Okay, same thing. 4 ounces of pureed mush. And they'll make quick work of that. Cover it up. So these guys are looking well. No surprises. Although the material is beginning to get really nice and composted. Don't want to be adding any more bedding to this experiment. So we'll see. Okay, so these guys are also done. Let's go to our next bin. And here is the Perionics bin. And these guys definitely are doing a great job at reproducing for me. And I would say that just like the red wigglers, they're probably, majority of them will be where the watermelon is. The bedding feels good. There's no smell. And I think this is where we'll find all the worms. Oh yeah. There they are. You can see that they can easily be in first place, right? Okay, we're not going to bother them too much. We're going to feed them. Check my gloves. Okay. There we go. I don't typically grind the food up. It's too time consuming for me. Just a little bit for this experiment. When I have the time, I do so. But if you have 1 or 2 bins, that's something you might consider. Okay, our last bin is the African night crawlers. And here they are, the African night crawlers. So let's see how they did. Castings of the African nightcrawler is larger than that of all the other worms. We see some young ones. And they're also spread out. Here's a larger one. Here's some more. They certainly do not appreciate me messing with them. But they're looking good. You can definitely see more babies. So these guys are still reproducing as well. How interesting. Yeah, there are some worms in every corner. But I think a lot of them are here underneath the food. Oh yeah. And see how many there are. Surprised that so much of the watermelon is still left, but that's okay. It wasn't a whole lot of food anyway, so let me make a little pocket here. Check my gloves again. There's a baby. Come on, little guy. Okay. And we'll give these guys the food. I bet you this is going to be gone and the watermelon will still be there next week. That's okay. So everybody's doing well and everybody's reproducing, and the bins are going great as well. I'm seeing all the castings and we still have a bit of bedding. So we're just going to keep an eye out for that. We don't want the bin to become sour where I, not add bedding and just add food. So, it's a balancing act for sure, but we'll see when we're ready to bring this experiment to a close, probably when the bedding has been composted. So that's the end of the update. Everybody's doing well, and we'll check back with them next week. Thanks for joining me.